Welcome to the Changemaker Collective podcast. I'm your host, Lee Mitchell, and each week we sit down with entrepreneurs, advocates, and industry disruptors who are reimagining what's possible in business, leadership, and community. Whether you're building something new, championing equity, or navigating your next career leap, this space is for you to learn, get inspired, and take empowered steps forward to drive meaningful change in your world. And why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Khadija Natali. I belong from a small town in India. I have completed my bachelor's in economics. Currently, I'm pursuing digital marketing course at York University. I feel so fortunate to be here. So this is all about me for now.
Oh, that's so great. And I just have to say, like, your kindness and your thoughtfulness goes a long way. I know that when we first met, you reached out in advance to say that you're going to be a student and asked if you could give me a little treat, which you did. So you want to tell me about that treat? Because it was very yummy.
Definitely. So before coming here, all my life, I have been this very numerical and logical aspect of a person. But before coming here, all of a sudden, back home, I was working with this company based in New York. And I was somewhere very much, I don't know, it was at one of a time when I pitched a company to our potential investor. And that's where it switched my interest into the marketing. So that's why I decided to choose this course. And when I was coming here, I was thinking to, bring something here because I feel so fortunate and grateful to be here, especially to you guys, like the way you inspire us, motivate us. So I have seen it because you were posting about your student and everyone on LinkedIn. So that somewhere got me inspired that you guys need to be I need to thank you guys. I'm grateful. So that's why I came up with this idea to be little personalized because since I was coming into marketing, I needed to be personalized. So I created this banner personalized with York University and brought the suite from India to here for all of you guys.
So tell us what that suite is and what does it represent to you?
It's a like kind of traditional Indian sweet. We call it halwa over there. It's made from gas. I would say it's an Indian word. I'm not sure what do we exactly call it in Canada because it's not easy to find it over here. So it's a traditional Indian sweet that has very deep value in our culture.
Oh, well, it was very good and I was very honored and it was presented so nicely and I really appreciated that kind gesture. So thank you. And so let's get started with your origin story. So you describe being from a small farming community. How did that shape your early worldview?
To be honest, it really shaped who I am today as a person, personally, what value and cultural aspect I bring onto the table when I walk into any room. So I belong from this very small farming community in India from a state called Gujarat. My father is basically a farmer and we live in this very small town. So basically growing up, I have completed my primary education from a primary school in my town and I studied there till 8 years and in this 8 years I gave 16 examination and I topped all those 16 examination with more than 95%. When I was there I built a portfolio and when I graduated from that school I had around 35 certificates and I have won around 9 awards. But after that, I completed my primary schooling. There were no English medium school around me, and I was somewhere very much into getting myself immersed into English because at that time it was like very growing thing in India. But since there was no school, there was some social constraint, there was some financial constraint that forced me to leave my study. So I had to stay at home doing nothing. 2 years I did nothing, just questioning what am I supposed to do ahead? What am I supposed to do ahead? But they always say that if there's a will, there's a way. Mm-hmm. So eventually within time, I found out that I can actually study by my own from home and I can give external examination, distance education. So that's how I completed my 12th. Then on a merit-based scholarship, I got into this online university. I completed my bachelor's from there. And then it led me over here because over the time, the financial condition got little better. My parents' mindset become little settled. And of course, every parent will root for their child's success. So I'm fortunate that they were supporting enough. And that's how I got into York.
Wow, that's such an amazing journey, and I'm glad to hear that your parents did what they could to support you. I know that most parents do what they can, but it isn't always easy. As a parent of two, I can certainly attest to that. But that's great that your journey has led you here so that I've gotten to know you, and I feel very lucky that is the situation that our paths crossed, and you're a student, and we're just having. I'm really enjoying getting to know you in the classroom, and I love how you are very good about stepping up and sharing your perspectives, and it's been great seeing you grow in the classroom. So and of course seeing you on LinkedIn as well, which I love, the fact that you also are interested in entrepreneurship. And so every time I'm sharing something about that in our Business in the Digital Age course, I see you madly writing down information, trying to sort of absorb everything that you can. And I know that you thought really carefully about what your journey might look like. So thanks for sharing some of that. So, I think I have a little bit of a sense of what your initial motivation was to pursue your education and the challenges that you experienced in that. How did you navigate that decision during that time? Like, what were some of the thought processes and techniques that you used to get through that challenging time?
To be very honest, it was not at all easy. And in the beginning, I can admit that I was completely lost. Like till the 6 months, I was completely lost what I'm supposed to do ahead. But eventually, I do believe that to immerse yourself with this positive mindset, if you cannot just read some more motivational content, consume content over YouTube and everything, is just everywhere. So eventually when I started making my mindset towards more positive side, I came across the thought that no matter what, if I think about something that I want to do this, nothing or if for any person, if they think that I want to do this, nothing in this world shall stop them. Because there is this one thing that has just got into my mind, and I live within this thing, that when human life on earth we wanted, we flew plane in the sky, and this is just mind boggling to me. We literally flew plane in the sky. So for us being a human, impossible is just nothing. So that's where I started that no, if I want to study, no matter if I have access to normal education institute here or not, no matter if the society is supportive or not, if I want to do it, I will do it within the limited resources that I have been provided. So that's when I started my research, and there is this national institute in India. So that's when I completed my study. And actually, to my surprise, when I was doing my research and everything, someone back home one day told me that, as a woman in India, it is still a little bit of taboo to study too much. So someone one day actually told me that you are a woman. I know that person still today doesn't want any bad for me, but that person told me that you are a woman, it's better if you start focusing on kitchen, and you're making your house, that's what you're gonna do. And I couldn't answer that time because I was just lost. So when I reflect on that, I'm so fortunate to be here, because today at York I'm pursuing my third degree, 16 months more, and I will complete my fourth degree.
Wow, that is incredible. And yes, there is taboos around education in different parts of the world, and I just love that you challenged that norm and didn't settle. You are a true change maker, educational change maker, someone who cares about pursuing what is meant to be for you. You're following your destiny, and I love that you give the example of something as crazy as like being able to fly in the sky. Like, who imagined that was possible? Innovation is possible. And of course, we're studying disruptive business models and changing the norms of how we can create opportunities for ourselves in a way that wasn't done before. And so you're breaking that mold, and I absolutely love that story. So thanks for sharing that.
Canada, this is my first time pursuing international education.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I have 55 certificates in my portfolio, and 19 I was from Government of India. Mm-hmm. So I have completed those certificates from different parts of the world, from Canadian Institute, Australian Institute, Institute from United Kingdom, and So I guess this is something, when I study digital marketing, this is one another thing to add up to, that there is digital education today, digital knowledge. When you want to do something, there is no limit, no cap to it. So that is my story. And I would like to share it here that so many girls in my community, they have not studied ahead after the primary schooling. As I told you, we don't have access to normal education. So when I started distance education back in 2018. So there are like 13 girls after me who approach the same way, and they have completed their education. 4 of them have completed their bachelor's as well. So I feel so fortunate that we are finally getting somewhere.
Oh, that's really amazing. So it's neat that you're following how some of your fellow students, how they have continued on their journey, and that you've stayed in touch. It's important. Community is so important. We really do need to be able to do it together, right? We go further when we go together, and it makes the obstacles seem less challenging when we focus on that. So looking back, were there moments that you almost gave up? I guess it sounded like, perhaps there were times where it was very upsetting, and the norms there of like it being taboo to have too much education as a female. So what did you do in those moments, like we all have, where we just feel like giving up?
Definitely. There was this one time I still remember back in 2018 that I completely gave up. I thought, okay, my education journey is over. But there was some part in my mind that was just not getting shut off, that if nothing was meant to be in a transformational or positive way, then what was all this that I have been doing these years, all the achievements and everything, what does it mean now? So at that time, I guess somewhere there was some friend support, like my friend were motivating enough, but more than that, around that time I wrote an article because I was too much indulged into why our education system is like that. So I wrote an article about Indian education system, that why we are like this and not like that, why we are not getting access to the normal education that we deserve. And it actually got published in Times of India, which is like largest telecommunication company in India. And when it went viral, like my family supported enough, and it became talk of the town where I used to live. So that actually got me motivation that no matter what, I can do it ahead, and I just need to find some way. And to be like, I have been very grateful and fortunate enough. Throughout my life, I have been supported by my teachers too much, because my school was just in my town. Even today, professors like you, I feel so grateful to be around, because you guys are so supportive. So those teachers used to come to my home whenever they used to get a time to explain my parents that let her study. And it was actually through one of my teacher that I got to know that, okay, you can do this through distance education. So of course it had been supported by the people and the mindset that we always carry within ourselves.
So tell me, how did you talk to your parents during that situation? Like after that initial conversation with your teacher, how did you get them on your side? Because that sounds like a pretty momentous thing to have to go through.
Yeah, so initially, like they were supportive enough. We went to get admission because we need to register ourselves to give distance education. I came up home with this slack of book. It was too big, and I looked at it. I need to study all of this by my own, and I got little scared. I was like, no, I cannot do it. So actually, we went back. We give it to them, and I took my registration. Like, no, I'm not registering in this anymore. But later on, when the teacher moment happened, my teacher came to my house, and I told my parents that no, this time I actually really want to do it, because there is no option B. I have to get into it. I will either win it or I will just face it. Let me just try. But this time they were like, no, what if you just give back books again? Initially they were like this, but then I was like, no, just let me try, give me one chance. And I am fortunate to say that they were supportive. So we went back again. I registered myself. I started studying online through by myself. I took some help from YouTube videos and everywhere, and I gave my examination. So when it happened for the actual time, it was not at all easy to convince them to let me give examination through distance mode, because it was little expensive at that time.
Wow. So then how, I'm just so fascinated then, like, how did you
what was the journey for your parents and yourself to get you to where you are here in Canada at York University? How did you convince them of that, or did you have to? Were they a part of that decision?
It was, to be honest, a roller coaster journey. They were not at all in favor of my education. Then I completed my 12. But then when they saw me that actually I'm working hard towards making my life, towards making my dreams come true. So we talked that I want to move to UK because I have family in UK, United Kingdom.
Right.
So yeah, we decided that I can go to UK because I have family there. I can study over there and everything. But as I do not see that much of potential for myself in UK, as for what I can see in Canada. So then I sat with them. I talked throughout that everything. I provided them with every data, every possible research that I could. I told them, I showed them the future picture of myself, that if you let me take this chance, this is where I can go. And even if not, as I say, it's either I face it or I win it, but let me just take this chance in my life. We never know, what if I make it through this. So it, like, little by little they agree that okay, you can go. But initially, as I told you, my father's financial condition weren't that good, but eventually within time, grateful that it got better. So it was just around like 1.5 year that we finally decided. They agreed that okay, you can go to Canada, you can pursue, of course you're free to pursue your dream or however you want it. So that's how it began. I completed my fee examination, took admission, and landed at York.
Wow. That is so cool. I can't imagine having, just how you were able to change things around for yourself and to advocate for yourself that is a very, very cool story that a lot of us here in Canada, we totally get as women, especially that, there are significant setbacks for us in the workplace and in pay equity and whatnot. But, here in Canada, we take for granted that, in most situations, getting an education is encouraged, not, and I'm not trying to put your parents down for their, everyone has their own cultural norms, and I'm sure that they felt that they were trying to do what they thought was best for you, but you ultimately knew what was meant for you, and I love that you never gave up on the vision for your life. And so that is just such a very, very inspiring story. And just for me, it just makes me realize how important it is to not realize that we're not to take these freedoms for granted, that it is,
Yes,
that we're very lucky.
This is not just my story. This is not one Khadija speaking. This is like many Khadija speaking from the team that I belong to.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What do you see as a change maker? What do you hope for the future of education for women, especially in places like where you came from, a small farming community?
I believe that for women who belong from small town like us, education, it should not be looked down at, oh, that you have been given this opportunity. No, this is the freedom. This is my right. All right, I want it. And even in my case, I actually, when I was 16, I made this innovation of how, in day-to-day life, we waste tons and tons of graphite every day through construction, through school, and every day. So how we can incorporate and use those waste graphite to actually light up the electricity to save our environment. And I was 16 when I done that research. And this was my first award that I got from Government of India for doing this research in the field of economics. But I couldn't pursue it. I couldn't go into the field of physics, what I really wanted to do. So that's why I pursue my second interest, that is business and economics. But for women, I want all of us to just have to pursue what we want, to pursue what we think of. No matter where it goes, it might go right, it might go wrong. That's something later to be think about. Right now, what matters is to be able to pursue, to be able to get, to be able to do what we just want.
Ooh, you're giving me goosebumps. So what advice would you give people like yourself, in terms of like being able to maybe like you had to like have your teacher show up at your doorstep? What would you tell your fellow females in your situation, the situation that you were previously in, what would you tell them they should do?
I would say no matter what, do not let this setback stop you from getting ahead. No matter what, if you think something about yourself that I want to do it, then it is just achievable. It is just possible, and I can take bet on it that it is just doable no matter what. As I give you the example of flying plane in the sky, if human can do that, we can do anything in the world. And second thing is just start, no matter how small, no matter where you are. You just got to start doing research, start getting to the work, getting to the ground, start doing the work. That all that matters. So do not let any setback stop you from getting where you want to be.
Okay, well, I definitely will take that to heart, because, I think I second guess myself on a regular basis, and I certainly haven't had the obstacles that you have, and I certainly haven't taken myself across the world. And I'm just in awe of the students that I've met through the past 3 years or so that I've been teaching at York. Just the stories are incredible, and some of the backgrounds, especially that the female students come from, where their basic human rights are not guaranteed. And so, yeah, I'm just in awe of you, and thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story. So what's next for you? Obviously this program is just under a year, and you're at the beginning of your journey, but before you know it, you will be a leader ready to take on the world. So what do you hope for your future?
What I hope for my future is that, first of all, I believe to start working on what I think little by little every day. That's why whenever you guys say something or some resources come across, I just write it down to follow up on it later on. So currently what I look for myself is to start my business here in Canada. This is one aspect. And then another one is to be advocate for the women who are facing the same situation as me. And actually, to add to that, I feel so fortunate and grateful that before coming here in this January, I was invited as chief guest at the school from where I have studied to host a flag ceremony on our Republic Day. I hosted flag over there, and today in that school, because I was able to earn something because I was working while studying. The scholarship run, scholarship for 2 students who cannot afford to study ahead, run under my name over there. So this is just very little at the moment, but I want to make this a big, to be able to support students like me, that what I face one day, if that is the only thing stopping you, then you shouldn't be facing it.
Wow, that's so inspiring. It's very touching. So I'm so glad that you were able to advocate on behalf of your fellow students, and for future, for the young women who are just starting school or thinking about what they're going to do next. I love that you are going to be an inspiration for them, and I don't doubt that you aren't going to put your advocacy to amazing use by encouraging and mentoring people that were in your situation, and help them get where they need to go. And who knows, I can't wait to see what you build through being a business leader. So thank you so much for being on our show today. And for those of you who are listening, do check out the Changemaker Collective, our website. You can join as a member at no cost, and look at our Future Ready Leadership Program for leaders that want to lead on their own terms and change what matters and lead with impact. So thanks so much for today, and till we meet again.
Definitely, that is tomorrow. I feel so grateful. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Before we end it, I really want to say that whenever I meet you, you inspire me every day. When I think about my journey or myself, and I just think about the Changemaker initiative that you are doing, it just feels amazing to be surrounded by someone, or to have come across and to meet someone in the eternity of my life like you. So this will definitely be something I will forever feel grateful to just come across and meet you. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for having me at York University, and for being the amazing tutor and change maker that you are.
Oh, thank you. And actually, that reminds me, where can people find you? What's the best place if they're inspired by this podcast and want to get in touch with you?
Sure. So they can find me over LinkedIn. My username over there is Khadija Natali. If not, they can reach out to me via my email, that is natalikhadija7@gmail.com. LinkedIn is the best place because I'm always over there.
I know you are a power user, just like your prof. So thanks again, and we'll include information about you in the show notes, including your LinkedIn profile, so that people can connect with you. Because you're going to be leading the world. I can feel it. It's you're going to be doing really cool things, and I will be so proud to have been a small part of that. So thanks again, and until next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.